From the moment we're born, gender identities become a critical part of our life. From birth through adolescence, society predetermines, establishes, and enforces the gender roles that we are all ultimately defined by. As we are literally wrapped in gender-defining blankets minutes after we are born, it is easy to see how stereotypes can invade various aspects of our lives. We interviewed English teacher Miss Leanne Hill on the topic of gender roles in family life.
How many kids do you have and what are their ages?
I have 4 kids. Olivia is 18. Elizabeth will be 14 in July, and Abigail is 8, and Emmett just turned 4.
Okay, and given that Emmett is the only boy in an all-girl household, do you think that his behaviors are affected by the all-girl household, or?
Well, I definitely think they're affected. Like, I think he would act probably differently if he was in a house with all boys. But because he has 3 sisters, he's definitely exposed to more, I guess what you would consider girl stuff than he would be if there weren't girls in the house.
And once you told us a story about Emmett and how your daughters dressed him up.
Yes.
And would you mind me telling that and how your husband reacted to it and how you reacted?
Well, I'm trying to think. There have been a couple of occasions. I know when he was a baby, Abigail liked to put like little girl hats on him, and so he was a baby, so that was just kind of goofy and cute. But as he's gotten older, Abigail has, she's experimented with putting like girl underwear on him, girl shirts, showing him how to paint fingernails. And at first my husband was not really happy about that, and I think as a parent, your first reaction is, oh my gosh, if we start doing this and this is what he's going to want to do, or this is what he's going to be interested in, and then he won't, fit the norm and what's expected in society.
Do you think that your husband is not liking that your son would do that, or do you think I don't know, that it negatively affects him?
I don't think my husband's worried about it anymore, because you see them gravitate back towards really stereotypes or social expectations.
Social norm.
Yeah, and I guess the comfort in that is that it's not so much that we would support our kids in whatever their interests are as they get older, but I think as parents you worry about them being picked on by other kids. So
each and every one of us at a young age was presented a gender-based social norm every time we turn on the television or put in a movie. Disney movies are a prime example of creating gender bias between man and woman. For example, the ladies are always the damsel in distress, always needing saving or rescuing. Cinderella dropped her shoe, needing Prince Charming to come and personally deliver and return it to her, saving her from the evil stepfamily. Belle was held ransom by the Beast himself, all the while tolerating neglect and abuse from him, allowing Gaston, the manly man, to emerge and attempt and save the day. The innocent and sweet Snow White took a deadly bite from a poisonous apple and had to be kissed by Prince Charming or else she would die. Aurora, aka Sleeping Beauty, pricked her finger on a spinning wheel, sending her into a deep sleep, only to be awakened by true love's kiss, of course, from Prince Charming. Ariel gave up her voice just to have a chance to be whisked away by Eric, the handsome prince, and in the end, needing to be rescued. Jasmine, although wanting independence, needed Aladdin to save her from the evil Jafar. Only after Tiana kissed a frog that turned out to be the Prince Charming she always wanted could she truly be happy. Do you see the trend here? Girls are repeatedly told that they need to be rescuing from a knight in shining armor. They are rarely told that they should believe in themselves, or they are strong enough, smart enough, or brave enough. Not until recently has there been movies where the princess is her own hero, and where she is the strong, independent one who does not require a Prince Charming. Movies like Tangled, Frozen, and Brave exemplify what girls should be taught. Boys only see they can't be anything less than a strong man on a white horse. They have to sweep in and save the day, or else they won't be considered a man. Gender roles are everywhere from the second your hand presses play.
We wanted to discover if gender roles actually exist. We interviewed some students at North to determine their opinions on gender-specific status quos in everyday life.
Do you feel like less of a man when you wear pink?
Now I would say no, but back when we were 6th grade, middle school, all my friends would be like, oh, like girls wear pink and stuff, but I think now it's just become like another color, and it's on a lot of outfits I wear nowadays, so yeah, I like wearing pink.
I'm Keenan Dowd, I'm 18.
Alright, Keenan, I'm just going to ask you some questions about gender identity. So how would you feel about wearing pink or purple to school? Okay. How important is masculinity to you?
Pretty important, I guess, because I play a sport. So maybe being bigger and stronger. And
Do you feel like if you wore pink, that people would view you as less masculine?
Maybe a little bit less, but as long, I guess, if I feel like I look good, I guess.
Okay.
Flynn Crawford, I'm 17 years old.
All right. I'm just gonna ask you some questions about gender roles. So, how would you feel about wearing pink or purple to school?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's like a unisex color, honestly.
Do you think if you wore pink or purple, people would view you as less masculine?
No, I don't think so.
How important is masculinity to you?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10,
Sure.
7.
So you do like to be the macho man?
Not really the macho man, but I like to not think of myself as a female, like I guess.
Okay. How important is masculinity to you?
Very.
Very important? So on a scale of 1 to 10?
8.
8? Okay.
Tori Simpson, I'm 16.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you some questions about gender roles, okay? So how would you feel about wearing cargo shorts to school?
No, I would never do that.
No? Okay, if you did wear cargo shorts or if you didn't dress nicely all the time, would you worry about people viewing you as being masculine?
No, I think everyone has their own style, and it's kind of whatever you want to do with it. And if that's the way that you like to dress, then just don't worry about it.
Max Ragged, I'm 17.
Cool. How would you feel if you worked at, say, Bath and Body Works, or have you heard of Lush?
I've never heard of Lush.
It's like a soap store in the mall, or like if you were a
Soap smells
perfume person, how would you feel if you were that?
I don't think I'd mind it. I don't know. I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
All right.
Caroline Fonsky, 16.
All right. How would you feel about wearing cargo shorts to school?
No.
No? If you did wear cargo shorts or if you didn't dress really cute all the time, would you worry about people viewing you as masculine?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you think about women in professions such as like a car mechanic or an engineer?
They should just go for it, do what they want.
So you wouldn't mind if you became an engineer?
No, I would.
You would? Why?
I don't like cars.
Okay, do you think you don't like cars because you're a girl or you just don't like cars?
I just don't like cars.
Everything.
All right.
Tell him to suck it up.
Hey, Sunil.
No.
What do you think about women? Tell me about gender roles.
They don't exist.
Hey, look, Sunil's wearing purple. That could be part of our video. We asked boys how they feel about wearing pink and purple.
Purple's a dope
How do you feel
color.
about wearing purple?
I love purple.
What about pink?
Pink is awesome too. I'm wearing pink this year for prom.
That's great.
Everyone's heard the old phrase, "There's no crying in baseball." Why does this phrase exist? It's because men play baseball and men don't cry. It is considered unacceptable in sports played by males to cry. Every person who plays a sport is expected to be tough, and crying suggests weakness. When boys fall and cry, they are recommended to rub some dirt on it. If a girl falls and cries, someone tends to the girl and attempts to soothe her. Gender roles are extremely prevalent in sports. Boys only play football. Why? Because football is an extremely rough sport, and those types are only played by males. It seems out of the ordinary if a woman played such sport. Today, 55% of athletic scholarships are awarded to men. The prize money for the PGA Tour for men is $256 million, while the prize money for the LPGA Tour for women is $50 million. That's a difference of $206 million. For finishing third place in the 2003 Women's World Cup, each team member was awarded $25,000. In the previous year, the men's soccer team made it to the quarterfinals, and each member was awarded $200,000. The salary difference between the NBA players and the WNBA players is significantly different. On average, men are paid more for playing sports than women are. Sports scream gender roles and gender bias.
We also interviewed people to see if gender roles are prominent in traditional professions.
David Klein, and I'm 16 years old.
All right, I'm going to read you some scenarios, and you're going to tell me if the person I'm describing is a man or a woman, okay? Okay, so you're in the hospital, and you are in your room, and your nurse walks in. Is it a girl or a boy?
Most likely to be a woman.
Okay. You work at a big corporation like Google, and you are just one of the tech guys, and your boss walks in. Is it a girl or a boy?
Most likely a man.
Okay. And then you work at Bath and Body Works, and you're smelling all these lotions and stuff, and your boss walks up. Is it a girl or a boy?
Most likely a woman.
Okay. And then you work at Ford Motors, and you're a mechanic, and your boss walks up. Is it a girl or a boy?
I would think it's a woman.
Okay. So you're in the hospital, and you're in your room, and your nurse walks in. Is it a man or a woman? Okay. You work at Google, and you're just an IT person there, and the CEO walks in, and is it a man or a woman? All right, you work at Bath and Body Works, and you just smell lotions all day, and your manager walks in. Is it a man or a woman? Okay, and then you work at Ford Motors, and you're a mechanic, and the boss walks in. Is it a man or a woman? All right, thank you.
Just as we thought, the interviews concluded that the stereotypes associated in certain occupations in fact do prove that gender stereotypes still remain.
As you can see, most of the teachers here at North are women. Why are the majority of teachers women? Is it because of their motherly nature about them? Not only is there a gender bias in teaching, but also in other professions such as nursing or housekeeping. Rarely do you see on TV or in movies a male nurse or a male housekeeper. A recent statistic from 2013 said that 89% of primary school teachers were women. Not only that, but today 70% of teachers nationwide are women. Professions and jobs are often based on gender. Certain professions are labeled for men while others are labeled for women. We are constantly labeled because of our gender, and it affects almost every aspect of our life, including our jobs.
Next, we decided to interview some women in impressive leadership positions to further confirm if gender stereotyping still plagues women in the workplace.
We're on our way to Bed Bath & Beyond to interview the manager for our documentary and ask her how she feels about her gender roles in her work.
I'm a little nervous for this interview. Carol's kind of intimidating, but maybe that's how she keeps her authority. Okay, hello Carol.
Hi Allison, how are you two girls doing today?
We're doing just
Great.
fine. I'm gonna ask you some questions about like gender roles and stuff.
Absolutely.
About working here. So could you tell us about your position?
My position is I'm the store manager here. So my job really probably is the training aspect and the follow-up piece on all the employees here at the store.
Okay. How long have you been working here at Bed Bath & Beyond, and when did you become a manager?
I've been with the company for 15 years now, and I was a I started as department manager, and after 2 years I was a store manager.
All right. So as a woman in the workforce, do you feel people look down on you because of your gender?
No, I think that, we're at Bed Bath & Beyond has so many males and females, absolutely not. And I don't think so. I think as a female working, they probably, we're the nurturers because it's in our instincts being a mother. So, no.
Do you have any kids?
Yes.
While giving instruction to your employees, have you ever felt that they don't listen to you because you're a woman in a position of power?
Hopefully those days are long gone, ladies. And I just, whenever I do give instructions, I always try to tell them, have them repeat it back to me just so that we're all clear.
We're going to interview Allison's neighbor, Miss Beth Wilms, about her job and her home life.
Miss Wilms is my neighbor, and she has 2 kids, and she works from home.
Hi, Allison. I'm so glad to talk to you today. My name is Beth Wilms, for those of you that I don't know, and I work for Cabby, LLC. Cabby stands for Carol Anderson by invitation. I work out of my home as not just a Cabby consultant, but I'm also part of our training and development team. So I teach and write workshops for the company as well.
All right, cool. So why did you decide to work in a career like this as opposed to working outside the home?
I quit being a teacher after our first child was born. Not because I didn't love it, I loved it, but I found that the pay wasn't great, obviously, and I was giving so much of my paycheck to my babysitter. It started to not make sense for me to work outside the home. And when Harrison was 7, I found Cabby and realized that I could work out of my home and still be here for my kids. So it was perfect for our family.
Okay. How do you balance working at home and having kids?
sometimes it's really hard. You have to be super organized. So I always put my family schedule on my calendar first, and then I put work in second. So that way I'm sure I'm taking care of them and doing work at the same time.
Okay, so when you first went back to work into Cabby, did any of the roles within your family change? Like, did your husband start making dinner more, and did your kids start doing a lot more chores?
Definitely. I think the kids were little. They were 4 and 7, so they weren't really doing chores then. Now they are, and they do a lot more than probably they would if I didn't work. My husband definitely started just to kind of be Mr. Mom. When I would be out on a Tuesday night or a Thursday night doing a show, he would have to do dinner and run to sports and make sure they took their baths, and he had to do all that stuff.
All right. So like years ago, it was expected that women stayed home and took care of the kids. Do you think that that's changed at all in today's age?
I think that's definitely changed. I think anymore, it's more expected that both the husband and the wife are going to work in the home, almost out of necessity, almost just because they really both have to anymore.
All right. That's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Male, female, boy, girl, man, woman. They all have one thing in common. A stereotype is attached to them. Almost every day of your life, someone looks at you and labels you as one of those words. What would happen if we all switched roles for a day? Walk a day in someone else's shoes? Would the stereotypes change?
Every person at birth is placed into a category based on their sex. Pink for girls, blue for boys. As the child grows, they see on TV and in movies how boys and girls are supposed to act. Boys have to be the strong, valiant prince, capable of saving the world, but also sensitive enough to woo women. Girls have to be beautiful, with the perfect body. They're taught that it is okay to be rescued and to be dependent on a man 24/7. They see that independence as a bad thing.
Through elementary, middle, and high school, young men and women are held to a standard based on their gender. Girls have to fit a certain status quo, or else they worry someone might view them as masculine. Boys have to be strong and athletic, or else they worry someone might view them as feminine. Is it so bad to be thought of that way?
But the gender stereotyping doesn't stop there. It continues through college and into the profession a person chooses. Since the beginning of time, women were thought of as the nurturing, caring, and motherly ones who stayed in the home with the children. When a man takes on the role of a woman, it is considered unusual. Hollywood and the movie-making industry even go as far as making movies out of role switching because it is considered different. What is wrong with women being engineers? And what is wrong with men staying home as the stay-at-home dad?
Why do all these stereotypes exist? Why does any of this exist? Stop and think for a second. Do you see the problem now?